This week, we're looking at the I am statements of Jesus to find out exactly what he means for our lives. Coming up. Hey, welcome once again to the One Verse Daily Devotional. My name's Matt, and here on this podcast, we look at just one simple verse every single day to grow a little bit deeper in our faith. And we have a theme going this week. These verses out of the Gospel of John that Jesus make. Every one of the verses that we look at this week are the words of Jesus, and they all begin with two little words, I am. The I am statements of Jesus. And yesterday we kind of spent a little bit of time explaining why, but just as a quick recap, and then if you want to go back to yesterday's podcast, you can learn more. But it goes all the way back to the story of Moses when he was at the burning bush and God tells him to go and save his people. And Moses says, well, who should I say sent me? God, what's your name? And God says, I am. Well, even though that technically that's a complete sentence, it kind of leaves you with some questions, right? It almost feels like there's a blank afterwards, like I am what, right? I am blank. It's like, God, like, can you finish the sentence for me? Can you fill that in? I am, that's beautiful. That's great. I love it. You are, that's great. That's amazing. But what does that mean for my life? Who are you to me? Well, thousands of years later, Jesus comes and he fills in the blanks. He tells us the rest of the story. He says, I am. And then through these I am passages, he gives us just a lot of definitions and a lot of meaning of who he is for our lives. Yesterday, we learned that Jesus said, I am the good shepherd. Well, today, our one verse again is in the Gospel of John. All these statements take place in the Gospel of John. And our one verse is John 15:5, and it says, I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. I love this verse. Not only does he answer one of those I am questions, one of those I am statements that he makes that answers the question of who God is in our lives and what is he for us. It goes on and it teaches us so much in this one short verse. Jesus says, this is in quotes, words of Jesus, red letters. If you have an old red letter Bible, it says, I am the vine. He's the vine. Think of like grapes growing in a vineyard, right? You have that main vine and then all the branches that come off of it, right? Well, it's interesting that it's the branches that bear fruit, but only because they're connected to the main vine. If they're not connected to the main vine, they have no nutrients, right? They have no way to grow. They have no way to produce fruit. He says, if you remain in me and I in you, you will bear, not just a little bit, you will bear much fruit. You will bear much fruit if you remain connected to the vine. Jesus says, I am the vine. I give you everything that you need. I give you life. I will give you power through my spirit. I'll give you gifts, abilities. I'll give you passions. I'll give you a purpose. I have a plan for your life, and I have all the resources that you need to accomplish that plan. So if you stay connected to me, Jesus says, if you stay connected to the main vine, you'll bear much fruit. How foolish would it be to tear a branch off of a grapevine, let it fall to the ground, and then wait for it to grow grapes, right? Wait for it to produce fruit. It would never happen. Why? It's not connected to the vine. It has no resources. It has no sustenance. It has no way to keep it alive. And the same thing is true for our spiritual lives, that we need to stay connected to the source of life. I am the vine. He even goes one step further, right? Not only does he say, if you remain in me and I in you, you stay connected to me, you're going to bear much fruit. But he has to kind of give us the bad news too, because the opposite is true. He says, but apart from me, you can do nothing. Nothing. We're literally like that branch that if we were to break it off and let it drop to the ground, it would just wither and die. It would accomplish nothing. Now, let's kind of get real deal for a second, because we all have hopes and dreams and things that we want to accomplish and goals that we set. And yet if we're just going around trying to do it on our own, and we've kind of left God out of our plans, and we're trying to just make it all work out on paper, right? And we're not seeking God, and we're not praying, and we're not connected to Him. We're not reading our Bible. We're not praying. We're not going to church, whether in person or online. We're still doing online church here in 2020. So there's nothing wrong with that, right? Now, here's the good thing. You're watching this. I don't know if this is just something you stumbled onto once, or if you're a regular, but if you're here or you're diving into other videos or resources like that, then you're trying to stay connected to the vine. That's good. But if you just stumbled across this and you were getting ready to hit stop and move on to something else and, watch a cat video, I got to tell you that Jesus is pretty honest here. He says, apart from me, you can do nothing. Quit trying to do it on your own. You're literally that branch that's dying on the ground. I am the vine. You are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will, it's a promise, you will bear much fruit. God is our source of life. Apart from Him, we can do nothing. I challenge you today, stay connected to the vine. Stay connected to Jesus. Have a great day.